Hey Scott, hey everyone else, welcome back to 4 Running Shoes. I am 4 weeks into my marathon training block, and yeah, last week went pretty well. I did about 70 kilometers of running, one long run, which was 29 kilometers, and then a workout, which was sort of like 5K progressions for 15 kilometers total, um, heading towards race pace. So it all went really well. So I feel like I'm trending well towards my marathon. But one of the key things that I've been trying to figure out over the first few weeks of this block is actually how I'm going to be fueling this race. I've done in the past, I've done some long runs, and generally, what I would use is these energy chews. They've always been sort of my favorite way of fueling during a run, and that's what I used for my marathon last year, and it worked fine. But I feel like I should transition away from them for a couple of different reasons, and I'll talk through a few different options, I guess, throughout this video of ways you can provide yourself energy during a race. And they all have their pros, the things that I really like about them, and also their cons, the things that aren't as good. And so it's kind of just weighing up which is going to work best for you in the specific race that you're going to do. But I love these because they're so modular. So you can take 3 to 6 of them at a time, and yeah, you have multiple, like every half an hour or so, you take 3 to 6 of them. And so you can really monitor exactly how much you want, like you can incrementally have it. And I especially like that during training runs because you can have just one block if it's just a short run, or a couple of blocks here and there, and get used to it. But the main thing that I don't like about them, and the reason why I'm kind of transitioning away from them, is because, well, there's a couple different reasons, but the main one is it's not good for your teeth, and I actually do find it pretty hard to keep pace and to take oxygen in while I'm chewing and yeah, trying to sort that out. And you also have to have water like directly after it, which is a little bit hard to time if you're in a race and you're not carrying water with you. So that's a bit of a pain, and there's also quite a lot of weight that you could have to carry during a run because these packets are pretty heavy on their own. You probably have to carry, like, if it's a marathon, like 4 or 5 packets of them. So it's, yeah, that's the main reason why I've decided to transition away from these. But I've actually struggled to find a good replacement, and I've been looking into a few different options. The most obvious option is sort of the gel version of this that you kind of just um, yeah, squirt into your mouth, swallow it with water as well. So that's another problem. You still have to have water directly afterwards, and if you don't, it can really mess up your stomach. So you really, with the gels, you have to be right into the water afterwards. Um, and the other thing is, like, they just don't taste great. But to be honest, that's probably my second choice going into it. But I decided to try a few different other options. Um, one of the ones that I thought would be really cool is liquid energy. So you can get like this powder that you mix into your water bottle, and then you can drink that as your energy. And the really cool thing about that is obviously you don't need to hydrate because it has water in it as you drink it. And well, you still need to hydrate obviously, but you don't need to just have pure water as such afterwards. Um, yeah, so that's really good about it. It also doesn't peak your energy. So with gels or chews or these sort of things, you'll often, like when you have it, you'll have an energy boost, and then it'll slowly deplete, and then you'll have to have another one to pick it back up again. But you'll go through these moments of like, oh, it's really hard and I can't wait to take my gel again, sort of thing throughout a race. Whereas the water bottles, they will sustain you pretty evenly throughout a race. But the biggest problem and the trickiest part about it is making sure you get the water bottles so you don't have to carry them. So in a big race, you'll have to actually time when those water bottles up where they're placed throughout the run, and make sure you can see them easily and grab them easily. And so that's just an extra complicated thing that I don't think I'm ready to try and figure out in a big race. So that's, unfortunately, I don't think I can do that. The other option that I tried actually earlier this year in Wings for Life is these Science in Sport gels, and they're particularly supposed to be really good on your stomach. Unfortunately, during Wings for Life, though, I didn't find that to be the case. I actually was pretty nauseous every time I tried to have them. I couldn't stomach them all. I don't know if that's just me or whether I had a bad one that I was taking or something on the day. I did find the caffeinated ones worked a lot better on that race, but they call them isotonic ones. They upset my stomach a little bit. So yeah, it wasn't the best, and I didn't really like them. But I did try it afterwards, and even during this block, I've been testing them out. But I still have like they work okay. I've been managing to get them down a lot better since I've been practicing with them. But again, they're just a really big packet, and you'll have to have a lot of these throughout. I think you only have to take them once an hour though, which is a bit better, but still that's a decent amount of these that you have to take. Oh no, sorry, these are 3 per hour, I think. Yeah, so that's actually quite a lot then that you have to carry with you. The good thing is you don't have to have water with them, but yeah, it's still a bit awkward, and I'm a bit traumatized by the first use of them that I had. So that brings me to my actual choice that I will be running with for the marathon. I've decided to go with these 32 GI sports gels. Yeah, so again, you don't have to have water with these, which is good. Obviously, I would like to wash it down with some water. I'll try and time it with my water intake, but it's not like the end of the world if I go 1 kilometer or 2 without having water directly afterwards. They're not that big. They're small sort of packets, which I really like. You don't have to have them super regularly. In fact, they're only 45 minutes per gel, which is really good. So I don't have to take too many of them throughout the race. They have this interesting snap, like you just bend it and snap and squeeze into your mouth, which makes it pretty easy to sort out. You don't have to worry about tearing it or anything like that. Yeah, often you have to put that between your teeth and tear it, and it's just a pain. So yeah, these you just squeeze and suck it out. And the texture of it I really like, especially compared to like the normal gels. These are more of like a syrup, like if you think about like a honey or a maple syrup sort of texture. And the flavors are actually really nice. So I really like these. Yeah, I'll keep practicing with them, but I've kind of just like fully committed now. This is what I'm going to be using on race day, and ordered a whole bunch of them. I think I had to get like about 30 of them to sustain me for all my long run practices, and obviously for race day as well. So yeah, I'll be practicing with these. I think they'll do really well. I'll have to sort of evaluate how it goes on race day. And then the other thing that is part of that is these guarana shots. They're sort of like a caffeine shot. So generally in the past, I like it's really good to have caffeine. Like this is a caffeinated gel, as well as these blocks. These have some caffeine in them as well. And caffeine in particular does boost your performance in athletics, which is really cool. And it also perks up your mind a bit as you're getting tired towards the end of the run. If you have a caffeine shot, it can really boost the mental side of your running as well as the physical side. So it is really good to consider caffeine. I haven't actually practiced with these too much yet, so that's something I'll need to work on. I generally do my runs at night, my long runs at night, so I don't want to have a heap of caffeine, which is actually nice, so I can keep practicing with these and not worry about caffeine. But I'll definitely have to do some long runs during the day to be practicing using this caffeine shot, because yeah, it's really interesting actually, because it's just like pure caffeine. You don't have to worry about taking a gel that has some caffeine in it and trying to manage that. So I think that'll work really well. Looking forward to it. But yeah, I hope this video has been helpful for you as well, if you're considering what sort of race energy intake you want to be taking on. There's a lot of different options, a lot of things to consider, but yeah, a lot of pros and cons. But for me, I'll be going with this, and hopefully with some of the options I presented that might help you choose as well. Obviously there's a lot of different brands and a lot of different versions of these things, but yeah, definitely a lot to consider. Anyway, I'll see you guys in my next video. I'm hoping to do another 75k week or so next week, and I'll let you know how it goes. And yeah, I'll catch you in your next video, Scott, as well. Make sure you check out that when it comes out on Tuesday next week. Yeah, hopefully you'll be able to get back into your swing of training and have a good base going into that marathon block coming up soon, Scott. Anyway, I'll see you guys in my next one. Catch you later.